Well, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in this wonderful planet we call Earth. I'm your host, Southern Truth, coming to you live on a Wednesday here. I just recently came back from the gym, done my midweek workout, sweating, pumping iron, doing some more upper body strength, and adjusting my posture to get it in the right condition. And yeah, losing a little bit of extra weight as well in the process. I've still got my electrolyte to keep me refreshed and whatnot. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a sip right now. If you haven't already subscribe, please share and like. Show your love, show your support. It's much appreciated. We are going to talk about a conversation that Shay and I had last night after we got off the air, and I need you guys' help in this. Good day. Great to see you, Christy, and it's a pleasure seeing you. So I had a bit of a conversation with my partner last night. It's a general conversation. We come up with random things and random ideas, and just to feed off what we can off each other. And the question of and the topic was mailing to do you consider yourself as a local if you've been living in the same type of area or state for more than 10 years? And I need your help in this because I have a battle with this. I don't consider myself as a local due to the fact that I have deep roots in my birth state. Like I'm originally from a different state and I moved to this state, but I have been living in this state the longest than my home state that I'm originally from. But before we get into that conversation, we will get into some sad news in regard to the Beaumont children, an excavation crew who was down there last month tragically passed away. And we will get into that. Also, we'll give you guys some photos in regard to the Adelaide Oval abduction. Who is Stanley after Hart? What did he look like? What evidence that they found, like a hat and other items and whatnot. We'll also show you a bit of that map that his grandson has drew or drawn. Sorry, we say things differently. In America, you say aluminum. Here in Australia, we say aluminium. But first and foremost, let's just say this. We need to give out the warning first, and then we get into generalized conversation when we talk about being a local or not. So let's give our warning because we are going to talk about true crime in this thing as well. So yeah, Southern Truth is for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, and theory tied in with some comedy. We had a great laugh last night about blue pills and turtlenecks, stiff necks, Bill Clinton, you name it. We had a bit of a fun night last night. And I've got some more where that came from too. But yeah, we've got comedy. Anyone that's been mentioned or alleged in this episode, they are innocent to proven guilty, even though those that have been alleged are no longer alive, and everyone is innocent in the court of law. Anyone's opinions is their opinions alone. Doesn't facilitate with any opinions that I have, even though I may agree with them or not agree with them. It still doesn't facilitate with any opinions I have. All opinions are just opinions, and that. And also, I want people to do their research. Don't take everything that I say seriously, even though I do show serious articles and photos in relation to it. And they are serious, they are facts and whatnot, but do your own research too, as well. That's what I've got to say. Also, lastly, yeah, just show your love, show your support. and sit back, relax, have a bit of a chat, have a bit of a coffee if you like coffee, hot Milo, or if you like me, who just came back from the gym, have some electrolytes into you. Well, let's get into the conversation, shall we? So, yeah, like I mentioned last night, Shay and I, we had a bit of a discussion just to break the monotony, the boredom. And we came across with this conversation how, or even tea, yeah. We had this conversation. If you've been living in the area for more than 10 years, or, or more, yeah, more than 10 years, are you considered as a local? Now, the reason why this conversation comes up, I have a battle within myself that I can't call myself as a local, whether that is due to pride or whatnot, but I have deep roots of my birth date. That's where predominantly most of my family are still living. And I do go back there from time to time to visit. I can't live there because it's a complete toxic wasteland now. It completely changed since I was a kid. I have been back and it looked like a complete dump. I've seen the schools that I've been graduated in. There's a perimeter fence all around it. It looks like a prison cell, like a detention center for children. Doesn't look like a school anymore. We're talking about a 10 to 12 foot high fence, steel fence all around the perimeter. Um, the alleyways, like the walkways, they're all blocked off now because back in the day when I was a kid, if your house got burgled and whatnot, and the person took the items, they'll go down these pathways to get away from the police because the police couldn't get down these alleyways with their cars or even their motorcycles properly. And the criminals or the burglars, they get away easy. So what they've done in my home town where I'm from, they took away all the back alleyways, the walkways. They're gone. And they made your front lawn a little bit bigger so it actually comes up to your next door neighbour that lives across the other side of the footpath. They brought the two front yard together and put a picket fence down the middle to separate the two properties. But yeah, there's no footpath there anymore. But I want you guys' help to help yours truly here. Should I drop my pride and consider myself as a local? Like I have been living in this state where called South Australia longer than I have back in my hometown. We're coming up to almost 20 years that I've been living here, and I still don't consider myself as a local. Mind you, I haven't seen everything in this state yet. I still need to do some exploring and to see some sites that I haven't discovered yet. I've been watching documentaries and all that, and the beautiful areas here that I need to go and do some vacation and do some fishing. I love camping, I love fishing, love to keep myself active. But what do you guys think? Should I call myself a local? Because I've been living here for almost 20 years. Should I drop my pride? Or should I just say, no, you're a New South Welshman. That's where I'm from New South Wales, Sydney. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comments section here. I want to know. I need some help here. Like Shay say, you definitely are now a South Australian. I'm go, no, I'm not a South Australian. I'm a New South Wales. But you've been living here for almost 20 years. I know. Chrissy says this. I lived in California for almost 10 years and I won't ever consider myself a local. nor will they consider me a local because I speak differently. The same. Like, it comes, like, there's a bit of a culture shock here in South Australia. Like the type of meat, like Samish meat. Over in New South Wales, we'll call it Devon. But here in South Australia, they call it Fritz. And I always consider it to be the same type of meat. But my partner's saying, no, it's different. It's a different meat. And I'm saying, well, hang on a minute. You go to Western Australia where my mother lives, they call it polony. And it's the same type of sandwich meat. You put pickles on it, you put cheese on it, you put it in the sandwich, right? They have a meal. But the eastern states call it Devon, South Australia call it Fritz, and Western Australia call it polony. To me, and it's only me, it's the same bloody thing, just with a different name. But apparently it's not. It's from a different breed of animal. That's like it's the same type of animal, but different breed. Yeah, different breed. And I can't taste the difference, but South Australian and Western Australian can definitely taste the difference. You put pickles on it, for me, it's like heaven. I cannot taste the difference in the sandwich meat. So yeah, Chris, you don't consider yourself a local because you're taught differently in California. I taught differently. Some people think I sound like a Kiwi from New Zealand. I'm not from New Zealand. I'm from Australia. But it just, you get my picture. It's just like you're a local now. You've been living here for almost 20 years, and I'm saying no, I can't wrap my head around this. Fry it, it's delicious. Yeah, I fry spam out of the tin. This was before I started to lose weight. Frying spam, and you can make if you take the meat out of the tin, the spam meat out of the tin, and cut it directly in half, you got yourself a double quarter pounder, give or take. Depends how you cut the meat, but if you slice it directly in half out of the tin, it's almost identical for having a double quarter pounder, and it's ham. No, it's ham, spam. That's why I'm saying don't open up your spam mail because you might get some meat. Yeah. But no, I mean, I love Devon. I love polony. I love Fritz. I love spam and cabbage. Right? You just cut the spam up into little pieces like bacon. Little pieces. Put it in a bowl with nice cabbage. And you can make yourself a nice, almost like an identical rice bowl, but it's cabbage, and I love it. I put spam with Brussels sprouts. I fry the Brussels sprouts. Yeah, now I'm making you hungry. I am the worst culprit making people hungry. I mean, we got these seafood here. We just went down the road before we got here, and they're called Moreton Bay bugs. No, they're not insects. They're not insects. If you, I don't know, over in your neck of the woods, you got yabbies. They're a crustacean, but it's seafood. The Moreton Bay bug can be about that big, but it's a crustacean. It's seafood. You boil it, and you can make good. It's like a crab, but it's not a crab. It doesn't have a claws like crab. It's just what they call a Moreton Bay bug. Right? It's from the ocean. Right? And they're in the same type of crawfish. Well, kinda, but it's not. It's seafood. It's called a Moreton Bay bug. We just got 4 of them, and tonight we're going to cook them up, boil them, and do a recipe. Sometimes we put it on a pizza, but we're not doing pizza tonight with the Moreton Bay bug. With lobsters and crayfish and crawfish. It's in the same type. It's a crustacean, but it's from the ocean or the river. Right? You can go down to a river. You can get Moreton Bay bug or yabbies, but this is a big, big type of yabby. It's in the same type of family. But we got that. I love I love seafood. I love oysters, mussels, fish. Squid. I love it. All the seafood I love. Right? It depends how you cook it. There's different ways you can cook it. Tuna, you got bluefin, yellowfin, got all that. I like having sashimi, and I like having sushi. Oh, sushi! I love it. Put a little bit of wasabi and a bit of soy sauce with lemon. Prawn for you. The rest not so. Depends when you get the prawns from. I mean, you guys call the baby ones shrimp. Well, we don't call it shrimp. We call the baby ones shrimp, but it's mainly prawns. I love prawns. The juicier, the better. The bigger, the juicier, the better. Now, I predominantly eat them cold, like out of the shell. I'll peel them and eat it. Love it. But I love prawns on a pizza. We make our own pizzas by hand. We've got a pizza oven. We've got a smoker. We've got a barbecue. We've got a Weber as well. I love prawns. Love prawns and whatnot. But yeah, I just want you guys' opinion. Are you considered a local after 10 years or not? I mean, leave your comments. I mean, I don't consider myself as a local, unfortunately, but maybe I need to drop my pride. I do love this state that I live in. I support the small businesses and the businesses that run this state. I do support them. I don't go to the top one that takes your money and makes a monopoly out of it. I support small businesses, right, and whatnot. So I do love this state. I love the community. I serve the community. Um, I'll give my shirt and my jumper off my back for anybody here in this community. However, I will not be taken advantage of. I have in the past, but it's a rare occurrence that some people will take advantage of me. And I do have boundaries set up now for that. But predominantly, a lot of people get along, and we're like a big neighborhood watch where I am. Everyone's looking out for each other, which is good. That's what you need in your community. People look out for each other. People will say hello. People will walk across the road with you and say, "Hey, do you hear this? You see that?" And you just have a little chatter. It's good. But anyway, leave your comments and your thoughts in the chat room and whatnot. But let's get into the true crime. This is what we're here for, yeah? Well, there's been some sad news in regard to the Beaumont children disappearance when it comes to the excavation teams that were down at one of the sites last month. One of the crew members who was on the excavator tragically passed away. He passed away at another job site. He was critically injured and he never survived. His name was Coxie, and he was a gentleman. He was a scholar. He always been a team member. He wasn't an individual. He was a team member. And he always gave his shirt off his back. He would help anybody. But unfortunately, he tragically passed away after suffering a job site injury. And he never recovered. So we want to send our condolences to Coxie's family and to the team that know him well, and hopefully he's up there working his butt off up in heaven and doing the same thing that he was doing not long ago down at the dig for finding the missing Beaumont children. And I have seen him down there as well, and he was head down, thumbs up. He was getting the job done, but unfortunately, no longer with us. Well, let's go to the Adelaide Oval abduction, shall we? We've got some photos that we want to show and share. We're going to share some photos in regard to the map that the grandson drew, and he retraced his steps back. Now, I will want to say this. When you look at this drawing of the map, it looked like a kindergarten drawing, like Mr. Squiggles, like the squiggles all over the place. And it's very hard to read. But the private investigative team who's involved, they seem to work it out and whatnot. We're going to show you some type of other materials and evidence in regard to Stanley Arthur Hart, who was alleged to have taken the two children from Adelaide Oval. We're talking about a hat that he was wearing. We're going to show you what he looked like. We're going to show you his late wife, who passed away weighing 11 kilos. We're going to show you that. You know? So you guys can get a little bit more of a background in regard to the Adelaide Oval abduction. Yeah. So let's just go here, or we'll share. Right. But first and foremost, right, I will need to do this for you guys. All right. Just give me a couple of seconds. I've got it here. All right. We got you the maps. Now, this map was drawn by Stanley Arthur's grandson. All right. Now, I'm going to do this for you. It is a little bit hard to see, right? It looks like a kindergarten drawing, but it's not. It's from Stanley Arthur Hart, grandson, Mark Trevor Marshall. Right? And what you see is basically a map of the farmland that his grandfather used to own up at Yatna. And he's marked out some things. I mean, I'm going to try my best to see if I can read the writing. Right? I do see Joanna, but I can't see the writing underneath it. Something to do, trigger warning. I could see chop up and is it Pato or Peter in some type of tank. Right? There's a prickle bush. I can read that. Now gone. Right? Something rolled over wall to creek. The writing is very hard to understand, but Joanne, that's Joanne Radcliffe, I think. Well, that's what I'm reading. It's Joanne there. All these other ones, there's a Dad's Secret Place up in the top. If you follow me, if you follow the mouse, this is the mouse. But this thing, Dad's Secret Place. I can see trees written down here. The tunnel. There's a tunnel, and he marked it out next to this square box in the middle down here. Tunnel. I can read that. There's another tank up here that's been mentioned. Another tunnel crate. There's another tunnel here, just off here. That's a tunnel. I can read that. But anything else, I can see. I can't really read it. It's a lot of scribbles. There's a lot of stuff there. It looks like a kindergarten drawing, but it's not. It's from the grandson of Stanley Arthur Hart. This is the map here. That's the map. It really does look like a scribble, but you do see two tunnels there. You do see a tank. You do see a prickle bush now gone. You see a rolled over wall to creek. But anything else is like very, very, very hard to read. Very hard to read. All right. Um, this is Stanley Arthur Hart, who is alleged to be the abductor of the Adelaide Oval, Joanne Ratcliffe and Kirsty Gordon. All right. That's him. Now I don't know what this photo was taken after the disappearance. After. All right. Not don't know how long after, but it was definitely taken. I'm just going to stop screen sharing because I've got to find these other photos for you. All right, here we go. I'm going to screen share again. All right, here with you. All right, this is a sketch of Stanley Arthur Hart. Now I want you to pay attention to the hat because I've got a photo coming up very shortly. No, pay attention to this hat in this drawing. Right, the hat. Now this is an identikit sketch of Stanley Arthur Hart, or what he may have looked like, or what the abductor, not Stanley Arthur Hart, but what the abductor looked like that took the Adelaide Oval children. Right. There's Stanley Arthur Hart that I mentioned before. Now check this out. This is some stuff and background of Stanley Arthur Hart. Right. Discharges. Native of South Australia, upholsterer, and born in 1917. He was only 5 foot and 8 inches high. Strong build, dark complexion, dark hair, brown eyes, small scar on top lip, birthmark between shoulders, scar back of left hand, on forehead and on both knees. Right? That's Stanley Arthur Hart. Right? That's his description. This was a Supreme Court criminal settings before Justice Chamberlain. And I'm just going to read you the first two paragraphs because down below you can't really see this. Right? It was a closed court. The court was closed to the public while prosecution evidence was given at the trial of Stanley Arthur Hart at the time, who was 49 years of age, of Roland Road, Hilton. On the previous day, Hart had denied charges of having between September 1964 and December 1965. This happened, well, according to this trial, the event happened before the disappearance of the Beaumont children, which was 1966. The Adelaide Oval disappearance happened in 1973. But apparently, he denied charges between September of 1964 and December of 1965 at various places, generally known a girl about 11. On 2 occasions, committed act of gross indecency with her, and 2 other occasions committed an unnatural offence with her, and also indecently assaulted her. It's the language they used back there. The language is different now. This is the old British English, this one. So this is a closed court. All right, he denied charges of, yeah. Here's another one. Let's have a look at this. Criminal settings before Justice Chamberlain. Guilty on 6 sex counts. A jury let me just read this if I can. It's very small. I'm sorry. I've blown it up the fullest. A jury of 7 men and 5 women found Stanley Arthur Hart, 49 at the time, upholsterer of Rowland Road, Hilton, guilty of 6 sex offences against a girl about 11 between September 1964 and December 1965. So he was convicted. He was known to be a PDF file. He was a convicted PDF file. Mr. L.J. Elliott, QC, with John Magan for Hart, who was remanded for a sentence. Hart had denied 2 charges of having carnally known the girl on 2 other occasions, committed acts of gross indecency with her, committed an unnatural offence, and also indecently assaulted her. Right? And then there's another one that's got nothing to do with it. So he was already found guilty on 6 counts of sex with an underage person back in 1966, I think it was. For Stan, it was just his house. Well, they had shared, to be precise, from 1970 to 80. Now that was the shed. Now we showed you a photo of the excavation team. Apparently that shed was a private place. No one was allowed to go in there. Apparently there was a lot of children that was bungled up in there and they were abused inside the shed, according to the private investigative team. All right, Stanley Arthur Hart for offensive behaviour at near Virginia, here in South Australia. All right, tried at True Wells. All right, that's in 34? 1934. That's Stanley Arthur Hart. Let's go back to you guys for a second. They look the same. Yep. Now, I said before, pay attention to the hat in the identikit. I'm going to show you something. Right? I'm going to show you something. Right? That was Stanley Arthur. Now, remember, Stanley Arthur Hart was found guilty on 6 accounts of having intercourse with a minor. Sickening, isn't it? But I'm going to show you this. Right? We got some photos. Now, we went through this photo yesterday. Right? We went through these photos yesterday, or last night episode. Right? Due to the barrels. Let's hold it for a second, let it load up. Come on, load up your nip. Sorry, I'm talking to the internet. It's coming. It's just a bit slow. All right, we talked about the test inside the barrels, right? That was tested positive for red blood tissue matter and high volumes of acid and so forth. This is the photo here that we spoke about yesterday. Now check this out. You ready? They found a hat inside the old farmhouse that Stanley Arthur Hart used to own up at Yatna. This is the hat. Are they on the money, ladies and gentlemen? Are the private investigative team on the money? You saw the identikit that was drawn back in the day of a witness that supposedly saw the abductor take the 2 children away from Adelaide Oval. This is the hat that they found at the house. I can show you the video clip of the private investigative team that went there many years ago when they found this hat. I'll show you the video in a minute. But what's your thought? Is this the hat? Is Stanley Arthur Hart the person who took the children from Adelaide over? You saw the identikit sketch of a person wearing a hat. Well, they found a hat. They found the barrels. The barrel's been tested positive. There's also got to do more testing to be done, but they've been tested positive. Here's the hat. Let's go and show you this. Right? Let's pick the Harbour. This is not relevant, right? There's some other type of stuff that revolve with the barrel. And that's it there, right? I'm going to stop share screening for a second. Right? I've got other important photos to show. Right? Other important. I'm just trying to get it. Right? So just bear with me because I need to get it here. I should have had it all here with you, but I was at the gym. So I am a little bit behind. I am a little bit behind, but don't worry, we'll catch up. I should have had it all in the file here, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But excuse me. I will show you this when I get here. It is. We spoke about the late wife of Stanley Arthur Hart. This was taken before she passed away. Hold on. She weighed less than that. She weighed at 11 kilos. She was really thin. Right? Stanley Arthur Hart was known not to get her medical treatment, not to give her the medicine that she needed. She had cancer and a few other stuff, but she died in the bed with a cockatoo bird caught in a trap down at the end of the bed, and also there was some chicken bones that were left near the pillow as well, animal bones near the pillow. All right. That's the old wife. All right. Now we are going to show you when the team went into the house many years ago and they found the hat. All right. I just have to go here for a second. Just give me a couple of seconds here, guys. All right. Just give me a couple of seconds. I will have it here. Because the good thing about this is now you guys can actually start seeing it for yourself. That I'm not making any of this up. All right. I need to find this video. Actually, I know where I can find it. Let me go here for a second. Give me a second here, guys. I'm going to find it. All right. All right, check this out. Now, I am going to say sorry for the music. All right. I am going to say sorry for the music, but this is a channel on YouTube called Wayne Bradley. I want to use this video as free use. This is not my video at all. I'm just using this. Sorry, you had a black screen. Now check this out. I just want to say sorry for the background music, but I will pause it from time to time so you guys can understand what we're talking about. All right. And put that one there. This is to do with Yatna, with the house of Stanley Arthur Hart. This is the old farmhouse that Stanley Arthur Hart used to own. There's the hut. This is the original footage when the private investigative team went inside the house. That's the hut right there. If you follow the mouse, there's the hut right there. Let's continue. Look at the identikit on the right-hand side. Look at the hat. Look at the hat of the identikit. Right, let's just go back a little bit. Let's just play that for those people that may missed it. All right, let's play it from here. There's the hat. There's the hat. Look how old that hat is. Look how old it is. Look at the identikit. Looks identical to the hat in the police sketch from 1973. And there's another hat there too. There's one on the bench and one in the hand. I truly believe the person who was inside the hat should have had some gloves on. Because this could indeed be evidence. Well, in my opinion, it is evidence. It is evidence. But I think this person should have had gloves on. That's just my opinion. Stanley Arthur Hart.
Susie's sister, Joanne Ratcliffe, was 11 when she and Kirsty Gordon disappeared from Adelaide Oval in 1973. This remote property at Yatna has been linked to the case for many years, with its previous owner, Stanley Hart, interviewed by detectives several times before his death in 1999. Hart's grandson, convicted pedophile Mark Marshall, has detailed evidence against his grandfather from inside prison. That material used by private investigators to uncover what they believe is crucial evidence.
Straight away, the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and that was confirmation that his story has some substance.
Police have excavated 2 wells at Hart's former property, but safety concerns have forced them to postpone the search.
If there is one little possibility that our girls are at the bottom.
This lady here is the sister of Joanne Ratcliffe. This is the sister of Joanne Ratcliffe, who was one of the disappearance child that disappeared or abducted at adult. This is the sister, Susie.
That well, and I would like them to foresee it all the way through.
41 years on, family of the girls have not given up hope. They believe there are still people out there that know what happened here that day, and they're pleading with them to come forward.
I want to be able to lay my dad's tortured soul to rest, and I want to be able to look my mum in the face and say, "Mum, we're bringing Sissy home."
This is where it gets really, really weird. A ghostly dog peers around the corner of the fence. Is this a ghostly dog? Aspiration of a dog here? This part right here. I don't know. You make up your own opinion. Believed to be Stanley Hart's dog and passed over. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is that a dog? An aspiration of a dog? I don't know. The House of Tortured and Lost Souls. Zoom in on the photo below and focus many child aspirators and a dog. Most dogs have owners who own this dog. Yeah, okay. I'll leave it up to you guys for your conclusion. All right, that's some copyright music there. I don't want to play it. I don't want to play that. Yeah. What do you guys think? Creepy. It is indeed, isn't it? It is indeed. Yep, the person who's held the hat should have worn gloves. Yep, I agree. I don't know the PDF file ran in the blood. And you can make a dog out of it if you look hard enough. Yeah. I'll show you another video, which is it's in the township of Yatina, right? Or Yatna. It got to do with the hotel. It's the old drinking hole, pub, we call it here. And apparently this has been mentioned. I'm not the one who's saying it. There's other people in society who has mentioned this watering hole pub as another location where it has a bit of a dark history in regard to PDF files and abductions and abuse of children. And now I will play it. It's from the same person. Right? But I do have to be careful of copyright material. Right. Let's just watch this. This is about a 20-minute clip. And I want to give a shout out to Wayne Bradley. Just going to use this as educational purposes only and get the people from overseas to have a bit of an insight into this area. All right? So let's sit back, get your popcorn. I'll be watching your comments as well. All right? I'll be watching your comments too, but check this out. I'm going to try and not have copyright music in it. So sit back, relax, enjoy, get your popcorn ready. I'll be in the chat room with you guys, watching you guys' comments. And let's see how we go. Are you ready? I don't think you want. No, here we go. I don't know why they used that.
Good morning, everybody. This week, the South Australian Police have continued their investigations into the 1973 disappearance of Joanne Ratcliffe, 11 years, and Kirsty Gordon, 4 years, from Adelaide Oval on the 25th of August, 1973. This week, we've attended several sites at properties at Yatna, which is in the mid-north of the state. We've spent 3 days excavating a well and examining a second well. This is in furtherance of a number of visits to that location over the past 12 months and 3 previous occasions.
But they didn't go to the tunnel where the barrels were. That was in another location. Shut up, Jamie. Get back to it. Okay.
Occasions where one of the wells has been excavated. We will continue to do anything we can to try and find the girls, find who was responsible for their abductions. To date, our searches at Yatna have not revealed any evidence in relation to the girls' abduction, but we will continue to do whatever we need to do to try and find the girls for their families.
Look at the face. Look at the nervous twitch. Stop bullshitting! You can't bullshit a bullshit.
The family of a young girl abducted from Adelaide Oval 4 decades ago has welcomed a fresh investigation into the case. Susie Wilkinson believes the search of a remote area in the state's mid-north could uncover the remains of her sister, Joanne Ratcliffe.
She's been waiting for a breakthrough for 4 decades, and this hunt for clues is about as close as Susie Wilkinson has come.
Oh, I think it's fantastic. It always gives us hope, but it also strengthens our hope that our girls haven't been forgotten.
Susie's sister, Joanne Ratcliffe, was 11 when she and Kirsty Gordon disappeared from Adelaide Oval in 1973. This remote property at Yatina has been linked to the case for many years, with its previous owner, Stanley Hart, interviewed by detectives several times before his death in 1999.
I don't want to pinpoint one particular person, but for all of the investigations that have been involved, he does look like a very strong suspect.
Hart's grandson, convicted pedophile Mark Marshall, has detailed evidence against his grandfather from inside prison. That material used by private investigators to uncover what they believe is crucial evidence.
Straight away, the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and that was confirmation that his story has some substance.
Police have excavated 2 wells at Hart's former property, but safety concerns have forced them to postpone the search.
If there is one little possibility.
It forced them to postpone the search. Sorry, I just paused it for a second. Let me just get back to you guys for a second. You can see me in that little left-hand corner. Why did they postpone the search? I asked the audience in the chat room that currently watching. Why did the South Australian Police Detectives team, not the private team, the private investigator, the police, why did they abandon the search? Interesting, hey? Interesting. Why did they abandon it? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the chat room. Let's go back to it.
That our girls are at the bottom of that well, then I would like them to foresee it all the way through.
41 years on, family of the girls have not given up hope. They believe there are still people out there that know what happened here that day, and they're pleading with them to come forward.
I want to be able to lay my dad's tortured soul to rest, and I want to be able to look my mum in the face and say, "Mum, we're bringing Sissy home."
I just want to turn it down a little bit because that is the copyright music from a band called Within Temptation. I'll just turn it down just a little bit. But here we go. Let's just read this. On August 25th, 1973, Joanne Ratcliffe, 11, and Kirsty Gordon, 4, go missing during a three-quarter time break at a local football final at Adelaide Oval when they went to the toilet. Right? The reason why I have muted it on the video, it copyrights music. It's from a band called Within Temptation, and I don't want to get struck down for that. So I'll read it out. Right? July 1979, an inquest concerning the disappearance of the girls and the actions of Adelaide Oval staff and police working on the case is held. In July of 1999, Stanley Arthur Hart died while living in Queensland and is buried in Yatina. In January of 2007, convicted paedophile Mark Trevor Marshall writes a confession naming his grandfather Stanley Arthur Hart as a suspect in the abduction and murder of the girls. He named Pekina Dam near Uluru in the Yatina farmhouse of Hart as sites of interest in the murder of the girls and provides various hand-drawn maps in confession, which we showed you the map that he drew. It looked like a kindergarten drawing with a lot of scribble, but it's from the grandson here. I have played it. I'm not playing the music. It's copyright music. In late 2007, Mark Marshall's handwritten confession and maps are removed from state archives and copies are distributed to a number of parties, including the local newspaper here in South Australia called The Advertiser. December 2008, private investigators who were given the document searched at Yatna farmhouse and Bikini Dam and removed a number of items. I don't want to play the copyright music from Within Temptation. Okay, here we go. January 2009, the private detective returned to Bikini Dam and recovered 2 barrels hidden in a sealed tunnel of the dam wall, where Marshall, who was the grandson of Drew Arthur Hart, suggested the bodies of the girls were disposed of. Tests conducted by South Australian police on the contents revealed a weak trace of blood, but they were later determined to be of no significance. But they came back a second time as a positive. Right? Why did police call this information fantasy? Why did the police fail to investigate this information back in 2007? And many people, not myself, but many people out there are calling it corruption. I want music to get off. Part of the police press statement in August 14, 2012, it is important to note that evidence leads or clues are very different to information received, it said. Information only becomes a lead or clue once it's rigorously assessed and validated. Are you fucking kidding me? This is from the police. This is from the South Australian Police. It is important to note that evidence leads or clue are very different to information received. Information only becomes a lead or clue once it is vigorously assessed and validated. Okay, then ask yourself this, numbskulls of the police. Why did you abandon the frickin' search at the well at the frickin' farmhouse? Why did you stop? It took a private investigative team to go down and even further and find some more evidence. Anyway, me know nothing. Come on. Major crime police have previously labelled the confession by Mark Trevor Marshall, who's the grandson of Drew Arthur Hart, as fantasy. So here's a question. So how does information received become a lead or a clue, South Australian Police, when you fail to investigate it? Why, South Australian Police, did you call Mark Marshall's information, quote unquote, fantasy? South Australian Police neglected this information back in 2007 and failed to investigate it. One can only wonder why. The confidential documents which sparked the investigation by the private investigators were produced in 2007 and leaked from the state archive files of the Mulligan Inquiry. We spoke about the Mulligan Inquiry last night into abuse of children of state care. It all coming to fruition now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, here we go. All right, why is there no... Hold on. Why is there a child's shoe in the sifting net? This is my mouth. There's the shoe. Why is there a child's shoe in the sifting net? Look what this police officer doing. Right? He's got his hands on his net. He's going through the soil to see if he can have any trace of bones or any type of evidence, right? But look over here in the right-hand corner. There's a white child shoe. But he's not paying attention on it. He's looking straight down with a little bit of a smile on his face. Interesting. Here we go. Here we go again. So this police officer shoe or a child's shoe? I can't see any shoe. Well, obviously, look at him. He's looking straight down. He's got a little bit of a smile on his face. He's got something on. But here's the shoe. So the question is that the police officer's shoe or a child's shoe? Why is there a child's shoe in the shifting net? It's clear as day. It's right there. But this knucklehead here, well, I should call him a bonehead. You can't put brains into monuments. He's looking straight down. He's looking at this dirt or whatnot. But there's a freaking child's shoe over here. Me say nothing. I saw nothing. We can see it. We can see it. That was a child's shoe. And the South Australian police says this: "Don't worry, I investigated myself and found I did nothing wrong." No cops around here. Here we go. Why is there 3 main places of interest appear to hold child souls? All right, here we go. This is where it gets a little bit paranormal. All right, this is the hotel, watering hole, pub, a town of tortured souls. This is where stories have been told about this hotel, watering hole, pub. We call it a pub here, in a hotel, right? Where there has been paedophile gatherings and abuse and whatnot. That's the stories that's out there. Do your own research. Yeah. Yatna Hotel. Well, it's called the Royal Hotel up there, but anyway. All right. So there's Joanne Radcliffe photo here, but there's supposed to be some type of aspiration here, right, in this square here. And this Kirsty Gordon, the other one that went missing at Adelaide Oval, right? These two went missing at the same time. And apparently here, I'm not saying it is, it's what this person did this video. Apparently there's another aspiration here. It's supposed to be of Kirsty Gordon here. This is supposed to be Joanne Radcliffe here, and that's supposed to be Kirsty Gordon. It's like a ghost. A ghost. So we're into the paranormal now, alright? Now check this out. There's supposed to be one here, and it's supposed to be one here. You can see a form of shadow of a person, but is that Joanne Radcliffe here? And is this Kirsty Gordon? I don't know. Apparently it's supposed to be ghosts of them. And here it is here. Right? This is on the side of the hotel. Right? And they've just blown it up in this little photo here. That's supposed to be Joanne Radcliffe there. There's supposed to be another one here of someone on the wall where the blue arrow is around here. And this is supposed to be Kirsty Gordon, somewhere around here. It's supposed to be ghosts or spirits. I don't know. I don't know. So there's the dog of Due After Hate. You can picture it might look like a dog, but it's supposed to be down here near the fence line here. And apparently along the fence line here, you're supposed to see some aspirations of other children that's been abused in this house. Like when you look at the arrows here, there's supposed to be one here. There's supposed to be another one here. There's supposed to be another one there. And where this door is, just in the door, supposed to be one there. Are these spirits or ghosts or aspirations of the children that has been abused in this house? You make up your own mind. I don't know. This is the dam where they found the two barrels. This is the reservoir. Alright, it says here, zoom in and focus on this area. It's covered with child apparatus. One might think it may have been a dumping ground, perhaps. Let's go to the right one. Alright, so these are just a few apparitions of what I see. So apparently there's supposed to be one here. There's supposed to be one here. And there. I can't make it out. Maybe my eyes are playing up, but anyone in the chat room, can you picture this? I mean, we're into the paranormal here. I mean, this is not my video. This is Wayne Bradley's video. Alright? But it's in the paranormal. Apparently, he reckoned that some type of child apparitions in there. Is there any? Is that a girl's face here in the fork of the tree? Remember when the JFK assassination and they did something like this? There was another shooter up at the Rocky Knoll and whatnot. This is kind of the same type of thing, but is that a girl's face here? Like, follow me, mouse, in this circle. In this circle, there's a tree there, right? But apparently there's supposed to be a girl face in the fork of the tree. Like, there's the fork there, but right in the middle. Is that a girl? I can't make it out. What's your thoughts? I don't know. So this is the field of the lost. There's supposed to be another one here. This is the blown up. Are we looking at another blob when it came to the Sebastian Rogers case? Is this another blob? I can't make it out. I really can't make it out. But anyway, unless my eyes are playing up, but they try to do this exact same thing when it came to the JFK assassination up at the Rocky Knoll, that there was someone behind the picket fence, and they're trying to do this type of thing too. But this looks like a blob. I can't work it out. Oh, I don't know. Now this one, however, you can just see a little face here, but it could be anything. You kind of make a resemblance. I can see a face here, but I don't know. Separation of what appears to be a girl and a boy sitting on a log. Oh, jeez. I can see the log. We'll wait till we find a blow-up photo. Holy guacamole! That is blurred as... This is why I hate when people are trying to zoom in and it's all pixelated and whatnot. But is that a boy there? Is that a girl there? Or is that a boy there? Is that a girl? I don't know. Apparently it's supposed to be a boy and girl near a log. But can anyone make it out that there's a boy and a girl there? I hate when they do this. They zoom it right in. It's just like the JFK assassination thing up the grassy knoll. Make you believe that there's something behind there with a pointing a gun. Does that look like a girl? Or a person? Can anyone make that one being a child at all? I know, we're in the paranormal realm here. I don't know. Well, there's the log. Right? There's the log there. I can see the log. But is that a boy and a girl sitting on the log? I don't know. You can definitely see the log there, but is there a boy and girl side by side sitting on the log? Where my mouse is? I don't know. That's a close up to it. You can see the log here, but where my mouse is, around here, is that a boy and is that a girl sitting on a log? Can anyone make it out if is that a child there? Or children sitting on that log, side by side? I don't know. Now look at this. The top right hand one. Ooh. Looks like a Mother Teresa painting. Kinda. This one here, that may look like a spirit. This one here on the left, it looks like a blob. I don't know what that one is. And this one is the log with the two children supposed to be sitting on. I want to see what your comments are. Okay, yeah. So many child aspirations in this one photo taken at the taking it down. I don't know. Apparently this area is supposed to be the field of lost souls. This is supposed to be a dumping ground where children's been abducted and abused and been dumped here, apparently. Now this is original footage again. This is the hat that the alleged abductor Stanley Arthur Hart wore. And there was an identikit of him wearing a hat, and this is the original footage when the private investigative team went into his old farmhouse. Once again, I know there's new people tuning in that might not have seen this. This is the hat that they found. This is the identikit of an eyewitness sketch of the alleged abductor who took these two children from Adelaide Oval back in 1973. Pay attention to the hat in the identikit for those people who are just joining in. Pay attention. Pay a very close attention to this hat in the sketch. And pay attention to the hat. Is it identical? There's the hat there. Is that hat identical to the hat that was drawn in the identikit?
And a meat hook. Hat's a size 7/8 Royal Stetson. In addition to the old Stetson, there's an old.
And there's the other hat that they found. Now, I said it before, for those people who are joining in, the private investigator who went into the house and holding this hat, I truly believe he should have worn some gloves because of cross-contamination and stuff like that. He should have worn some gloves. But anyway, it is what it is.
Very old fur hat.
These are some cables and whatnot. I think this is where they found the tunnel, I think. Yep. This is where they found the tunnel. This is the place where the South Australian police deemed it as a fantasy. It was no longer a fantasy anymore. They found the tunnel. They found the barrels inside the tunnel. The police didn't even go to this area. Why? There's the barrel right there. There's one of the barrels. There's two of them that they found. Look at it. Look how old it is. Been tested. It's also been sent to for more testing at a forensic pathology at a university. These barrels have been tested positive for a trace of red blood cells of human matter.
Someone would have to go to a great effort to put that up there because there's no current.
Look at that. That was inside the barrel. Look at it. There's another barrel. There's the other barrel.
It's blocking the entrance to the tunnel.
There's a tunnel in there. Why didn't the South Australian police go to this location? Because they deemed this tunnel as a fantasy. They didn't believe there was a tunnel there. Well, it's no longer a fucking fantasy now.
The entrance to the tunnel. There are blowflies en masse.
There it is.
Torchlight won't even penetrate the dark.
I'm going to turn that music down because that's a copyright music from a band called Within Temptation. Look at it. The South Australian police. Look, this is the tunnel here. This is the tunnel. Why didn't the South Australian police go down there? Let's go to use. Right. I'll see what you guys should say. Look at the barrels. Why were police so quickly reluctant to investigate everything? No one hides barrels like this. So who was in the barrels? Who was in the barrels? Unless they contain DEAD bodies. Why did police ignore this guy? Not once or twice, but 3 times he called. This guy claims he saw the girls at a boarding house and he drew their pictures. I can't help but think police done their job back in 1973, there may have been very different outcome. Why did police fail to get in contact with this guy after he rang the next day saying the girls were at the boarding house? Oh, let's pause it right there. Pictures he'd drawn on the night at the boarding house. Joanne Ratcliffe and Kirsty Gorton. They look identical, don't they? When he drew him, he must be a great artist. Holy crap. Right, hold on. Hold on, let me go back. Let's go here.
We're announcing the largest rewards in the state's history for information leading to the arrest or conviction for unsolved murders of children in South Australia. This will involve 13 cases involving 18 children with rewards of up to $1 million, and 4 of these rewards of $1 million will be offered for the first time. We want to attract people to come forward to reveal what they know. Even the smallest piece of information can lead to a chain of inquiry which can lead to an arrest of the perpetrator, or indeed information, crucial information, that might allow us to understand the final resting place for these children. All of those matters if we can actually solve these crimes and bring the perpetrators to justice, or if we can even understand what happened so that we can identify the final resting place of these children, will be an enormous sense of comfort to the families that are affected. Now, as you can appreciate, there are a range of families that have been involved in these matters. All of them have been contacted before we've made this decision. All of these decisions have been made on the recommendation of the Commissioner for Police. And in a moment, I'll ask Assistant Commissioner Paul Dixon to explain the way in which these rewards operate, the reason why they're being advanced at this time, and the scope of what the rewards may allow us to uncover.
All right. That's got some. All right, okay, here we go. Let's read this. Why is our government so hell-bent on taking our freedoms and rights away? Ask yourself this question. Especially the bikies, outlaw motorcycle gangs. It's these men who had been doing the work that our government and South Australian police failed to do and called it fantasy. The reason why I got the volume down because it's copyright music. All right, here we go. The Mulligan inquiry, which has been suppressed for 80 years, got a suppression of it. Why did the Labor government of South Australia suppress the outcome of this inquiry for 80 years? 80 years, these bastards silence the truth from us, the citizens of South Australia and Australia, but predominantly South Australia. $1,792 PDF files were named in the Mulligan inquiry by 733 victims who gave Mulligan their testimony and statements on the abuse that they suffered. This is why it was suppressed. 1,792 PDF files were named in the Mulligan inquiry by 733 victims. It named them all. The PDF file elite and the Adelaide scum. Alright. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Alright, we'll go back to you guys. over 1,700 PDF files were named in the Mulligan inquiry by over 700 victims that been abused, and the suppression order for 80 years. Why are the South Australian government hiding these criminals? Well, can I just be blunt and honest? Why the government are hiding behind these bastards? Let's call it for what it is. Bastards. There's several cases here in South Australia that revolve around this Mulligan inquiry of children being sexually abused, abducted, and in worst case scenarios, unalived. Hello, Christy. I just played the 20-minute video clip. You might have to do the replay watch of what we're talking about, the missing disappearance of the Adelaide Oval. Hello, Christy. Hello, Philemon. Please, no drama. We're not talking about other people. We're talking about true crime right here in my hometown, Adelaide, South Australia. You might have to watch the replay. We just played an 18 to 20-minute video clip. Tasmanian devils are still numerous. They're cuddly, but they have a bite strong enough to rip your arm off. They eat animals that they're already dead. I like Tasmanian devils, the little marsupials. Yeah, they're cute. But we're not talking about animals. We're talking about missing children that been abused by PDF files. PDF files. They had been mentioned in this Mulligan inquiry, over 1,700 of them. You know how many arrests out of this Mulligan inquiry? We spoke about this last night. 2. 2 arrests being made. So you've got to ask yourself a question. What is the South Australian government hiding? Obviously a suppression order for 80 years. 80 years, suppression order. Is that to protect the innocent? Well, the victim named these abductors, these predators. Over 1,700 predators were named as in witness. Over 700 witnesses named over 1,700 predators. Now, I can understand you want to protect the victims. I understand that. But why would you want to protect the people that committed the offence? Remember, only 2 people have been arrested in regard to this. 2. What about the rest of them? Well, some of them are no longer alive, but there's many of them still alive. Why are places and locations being turned away like a blind eye from both the South Australian Police and the state government due to the Mulligan inquiry? And here's a little bit of an insight. We're talking about the Adelaide Oval abductions. With this Friday night, I'll be at Adelaide Oval watching Collingwood play Sydney Swans right here. I'll be at the location where the two girls disappeared in 1973. I will be at that location. So Quishy say this. Hey Quishies. Okay, you have the 80-year thing. Now can the victim come out and speak? They did. But they've been suppressed. Some of the victims may not be alive anymore. Some may have already committed self-harm. Let's just be honest here. It's a sad story. It's a sad, tragic thing. But some may have already taken their own lives. And also, if the victims want to speak out again after the Mulligan quote, like let's say if the victims want to speak out right now, who's going to believe them? Let's just ask the question. Who is going to believe them? We know they've been suppressed. They know that the suppression order there for 80 years. But if the victims come out and speak now, who's going to believe them? The police not going to fucking believe them. It's going to be up to you and I to consider whether we believe them or not. That's why many people don't want to report to the police if they've been sexually abused by their partner or by a stranger. We're talking about the R word, the RAPE word. Most people don't feel like they've been believed. That's why many years later they come out and file lawsuits and that. And some people in the society just to say, oh, they're only after for money. They're only after for this and this and this because of the status of the person that they allege that done the thing. But when it comes to this, of the child victims of abuse here in South Australia, if they come out and speak now after they've already had spoken inside an inquiry and they know it's been suppressed for 80 years, who's going to believe them? The police are definitely not going to believe them because if only 2 arrests has been made out of 1,700 PDF files, 2, what did that tell you about the justice system? We spoke about last night about the abuse inside the churches, how a priest in the Anglican Church got a 9-year prison sentence when he committed 7 acts in a 2-year period. A 9 years prison sentence. The justice system doesn't favour those that been abused. It favours, and this is just my opinion, the justice system favours those that do the abusing, that do the act. Because there's leniency towards the perpetrator, not to the victim. Or would they give this person a suspended sentence? We'll give this person a good behaviour bond. We'll give this person a lighter sentence because of his character. Hello? The character is that they are a piece of shit. So the victims can't speak out, obviously, unless there's a massive push from the general public to get this suppression order overturned. And saying that, even if there is a push, which there's a push, do you think they're going to overturn it? Which what I mean is, do you think they're going to overturn the suppression order? I truly don't think so. Because they like to protect their own. And I'm not, this is the thing. When money talk, bullshit walks. And there's a lot of power involved in regard to this suppression order from the South Australian government and the local law enforcement. The South Australian government will only take advice from the police. They won't take it from private detectives. They won't take it from true crimers, researchers like you and I. They won't take in considerations to the people in the community. The South Australian government will only take advice from the police. What the police tells them, that's what they go on by. I find that don't the government supposed to serve the people? It's a hungry power machine. They don't give a shit about the community. As long as they get their name on that freaking wall of fame type of thing, it's all about power, money, and greed. And they don't want to lose their power. They want to take their advice from the police. But a lot of people in society will go, fuck you. We know what you guys do behind closed doors. And for those whistleblowers that try to lift the lid off this, some have got the doors kicked in. They've got their computers taken away. They get their phones confiscated because they're bringing this up. All we're doing is to try to expose what it is, get people overseas to have a bit of a look into this. And I can tell you, this is only this, what I'm saying right now is only this bit compared to the other crimes that's involved. But you can only just imagine how big and problematic that this Mulligan inquiry that's been suppressed for 8 years, just how serious it is. And then there was another inquiry which due to the abuse of children inside the churches, which we're going to get into on another episode. You can only just imagine how many people spoke out about that one, which also has a suppression order. And which also names a former Prime Minister here in Australia in that report, which has been suppressed also. You can only just imagine the dark side of this wonderful place we call Australia. You can only just imagine. Yeah, we've got wildlife out here that can take your life as well. But that's nothing compared to the darkness of the predators in the world here in Australia. And my job is to bring it to the forefront to you guys to make up your own mind, to do your own research, and for you to get a taste of this. Just to get a taste. Because like I said, once you get on this journey, there's going to be a few bumps in the road. There's going to be a few left ways, right ways, even each way. And I hope you have enough popcorn in your cupboard because you're going to need it. Or more importantly, you're going to have enough butter for your popcorn. That's the most important thing. But this is a very, very, very dark place to go to. But it needs to be shared. I mean, put your hands up in the chat room if you know anything about this before I mention it on Dolly's channel or anyway. Just put your hands up if you know anything about this case that I'm talking about, like the Beaumont children, the Adelaide Oval abduction, the Mulligan inquiry. Put your hands up if you know anything about that's happened here in Australia, or if you or not. If you haven't, just put your hands up also, because I hope this is making some type of leeway, a bit more of an education. I don't have all the answers in this. I'm still doing some researching about this as well. I'm finding some new things and I'm bringing it to the forefront. All right? But how many people knew about this before I spoke about this? I knew very little, nothing from Australia. Okay, that's from Chrissy. It's a very, very, very dark place. And I thought, being into true crime, and most of you people have seen me on another panel talking about true crime, I just thought the best thing I can do is open the book, open the chapter, and just give you a bit of an insight look of what Australia really is. Like, yeah, Australia was found as a penal colony. We got prisoners, convicts here. Right? That's how they were settled here. Right? They were roamed by prisoners. We turned into a penal colony. Unfortunately, we don't have to live that way. Right? We don't have to. But anyway. But I really, really would like people to, just give some support. Share amongst your friends to say, hey, this Aussie bloke down under is talking about true crime in Australia. He's really got a story to share. And I want you to have a bit of a look. Like I said, we are going to go into the abuse of inside the churches. Shay's got a story to share as well. We're going to find out why they suppressed that inquiry. Chrissy says this: I was speaking to my dad and was telling him about human trafficking and he said we don't have that here. So I had to tell him how wrong he was. People would tend to turn a blind eye. And many people would say, oh, it's just a conspiracy theory. People don't get trafficked. I think people need to get out of their comfort zone just a little bit. Just a little bit. Someone says this: sorry, the only thing I like from Australia is the animals, maybe one or two humans. There's a bigger place than just that, mate. We've got some dark stories to share here in Australia. Dark stories. And I know many people might think, oh yeah, we've got wildlife here that can rip your arm off and all that. Yeah, true. But that's nothing compared to what might be hiding around the corner that can take your child and you'll never get to see them again. How would you like to have your child missing for over 60 years? I certainly wouldn't. God, imagine what it will be for the family of missing children for 60 years, 50 years, 40 years. I can only just imagine what it would be like for them. Waking up every single day, trying to think that your child will one day just walk back inside the house. But no. And I can say this too: no dingo took any baby. This is my opinion on that case back in the early 80s. For those people that don't know, apparently a baby was supposedly being taken by a dingo and got mauled to death by a dingo. Well, the family, the parents, they were religious. They were part of a cult. Let's put it bluntly, right? The mother went to prison because at that time they believed that she was the culprit. She's the one that killed the baby. Now, it was a tragic thing, right? They found some stuff, right? They found the jumpsuit that the baby was wearing and whatnot. And the famous thing that the mother said, "The dingo ate my baby." Well, many years later, she got her name cleared by the Supreme Court of Northern Territory, the High Court, you know what I mean? They cleared her name after so many decades after that. In my opinion, whether she's been cleared or not, I'm looking at the evidence that I've seen. I truly believe the parents did indeed unalive the baby. It wasn't the frickin' dingo. But that's just my opinion. Doesn't make me right. That's just my opinion. But the famous things that I remember going to Canada in 2002, and every 5 seconds, "Can you say dingo took me baby? Can you say dingo took me baby?" And I just say, "Hey, listen, the dingo didn't take any baby. The mother did." Right? Jody says this: "What did they do to the baby in your opinion?" Unalived it. Stabbed to death. The story goes that the mother supposedly saw the dingo go inside the tent and saw the dingo drag the baby out of the tent and went into the bush and mauled it to death. But there was some type of resemblance of activity that happened inside the family car. Right? So in my opinion, according to that evidence, the baby was stabbed inside the car. That's my opinion, according to the evidence that came out back then. Now, that's just my opinion. Doesn't make me right, but I'm just looking at the evidence. I believe the family, especially both the mother and father, I believe they unalived the baby in the outback of Australia. A lot of people say that phrase, "Don't feel bad." I'm not feeling bad. I'm saying that every time I was in Canada, every 5 seconds, "Say the dingo took me baby." I said, "The dingo didn't take any baby. The mother did." Quickly says this: "Seriously, I thought that was from a movie. I don't know that was a real situation. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that." No, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to apologize. It was a true crime here. Many people got that saying from The Simpsons when they did the Australian episode on The Simpsons. "The dingo took me baby." And then you also heard it on Seinfeld, and you heard it on Saturday Night Live, and they're ripping Australia. It was a true crime. It happened in the early 80s, 1980s. It's a true crime. "The dingo took me baby." Yeah. And that became the fucking billboard for Australia, for overseas. "The dingo took me baby." Yeah. The movie made it seem like it were innocent. Yeah, I know it did. You're talking about the one with Sam, what's his fucking name? He's in, he's an Australian actor. He's Sam Neill. You're talking about that movie, that's the father that was played by Sam Neill. So they made a movie about this. They made 2 movies. Sam Neill was in one of them, and there was another one made about this. Yeah, Meryl Streep and Sam Neill. Yeah. They made 2 movies of it. 2. Yeah. But it became a lot bigger when The Simpsons made it, and like they had the same. The Dingo Took Me Baby, and then Seinfeld and Saturday Night Live. They all had this parody. The Dingo Took Me Baby. You know what I mean? And yeah, not realizing that it was a fucking true crime. It was a true crime. But anyway. But yeah, if you haven't seen the start of this episode, I advise you to watch the replay. We played an 18 to 20-minute clip in regards to the disappearance of Adelaide Oval. You saw a hat. You saw barrels. You saw tunnels. You saw the map that the grandson drew. It looked like a kindergarten drawing. But it's not a kindergarten drawing. It's a grandson's drawing. He's in jail still. Yeah. But yeah, I want to say thanks to everybody for joining us from overseas, from around the world. You know, it's a pleasure to be able to talk about this. We started off with the conversation: are you considered a local if you've been living in the area for more than 10 years? I don't consider myself as a local, even though I've been here for almost 20 years in this thing. The Adelaide Oval abduction here in Australia. Adelaide Oval, Joanna Radcliffe and Kirsty Gordon, the 2 children that disappeared in 1973. That's the case that I'm talking about. But please watch the replay. The replay crew, you can watch the replay because some people have joined near the end here. It's been here for 2 hours now. Whoa. Wow. I just love talking. But anyway, like, share, subscribe, share, watch the replay. Leave your comments in the comment section below the video. Let me know what you think when you watch the replay as well. And we will be going into talking about the abuse of children inside the churches as well. Shay got a story to share as well. And even this, Jody says this. You didn't get a notification. Okay. Turn your notification on, hit that bell button and set it to all. And if you have already done that, just keep peeled. Now, I know the time difference could be out of whack with people, right? But this is how YouTube plays. They don't always send out the notifications for whatever reason that shall be. I don't know. Right? I truly believe it's a shit move that YouTube have done since the COVID period, where they stopped giving out the notification to all the subscribers or whatnot. But just keep yourself peeled. If you see the red light there, if it's on the main page of your home page, if you see, let's say this for an example, if you see Dolly goes live, you know, even I believe even he was saying that some of his subscribers are not getting notified too. Everybody's going through the same thing. I've been going through this for the last 7 years almost. I've been going through it before COVID even got here. That the notifications weren't going out. It's a YouTube thing. It is. But just make sure you have the notification bell button onto it. Let me just share what I'm talking about for those people that don't know. Right? So, hold on for a second. So I'll go to my I'll go to my YouTube channel. Right. Let's see what you got. Right. And let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at it. Well, I can't really do it on my own, I don't think. No, I can't. But you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, when you get to the subscribe thing, there's a little button with the arrow pointing down, and it will show you like all blah blah blah. Hit all. Anyway, guys, leave your comments underneath this video. If you're going to watch the replay, watch the replay. There's a 18 to 20 minute video that we put in here. It will really get your hairs of the back of your neck to go bing. There's a little bit of paranormal stuff in it too, and it surrounds the Adelaide Oval abduction case, and it's an eye opener. But leave your comments in the comment section below this video. We'll be back probably on the weekend because I've got things to do tomorrow and I've got things to do on Friday. Right? I want to say thanks to everybody for tuning in. You guys are awesome. And say hi to your mum for me. That's all I can say. If you have a mum, I should say. That's what we say in Australia. Say hi to your mum for me. That's what we say. It's a bit of a laugh. But if you don't have a parent, say hi to whoever you can for me, okay? So, yeah, we'll see you on the weekend. I've got things to do over the next 2 days, and we'll come back with another very exciting episode. So, smash the thumb button, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already done so. We're signing out, and peace to you all. Cheers.